Hey guys, and welcome to a new video on my channel. Today I wanted to give you a quick preview of what's coming in the next Pipes and Physics update. That would be then version 3.0. I have overhauled a few things, but this update focuses mainly on quality of life improvements, bug fixes, and compatibility with other mods. There are also a few new features, and I wanted to show them off to you now. The first one you can already see is that display links now work with pumps and with pipes. So you have a few settings here you can select and display them on your display boards. If you like that data kind of stuff things. The next feature is also one which has been wished by a few people, is that you can now change the direction a valve lets fluid through, which is you can see here works in all kind of different directions. So you can have one-way valves this way, which I hope helps you a bit. The only downside is that you cannot control the angle anymore, like directly on the valve, so you need to use a valve handle or something else to drive this axis here to now open and close your valve. However, yeah, you would like to. The next smaller feature is when you're looking at a pipe with a pipe component and you shift, you will now select a 3D preview of it, and then by right clicking it will then replace it with the existing component there. Works of course also back to a pipe. You can of course toggle this in the config. If you don't like it, just turn it off. Also another feature a few people have wished for, or I don't know if actually anybody have wished for, but I thought it would be cool, is when you empty a tank and it has fluid flowing into it, it will give you some particles indicating that fluid is coming into the tank, which I think is just a nice small addition into there. And one last feature, really major feature in this update, before I come to this thing here, is that that pipes hold fluid now. You can see there's some goofy stuff of it still going on sometimes, but this is more like some weird offsetting errors. So if we have a pipe somewhere, for example this one here, and we shifted it, you can see that this thing has can hold fluid, or holds fluid. So this pipe here holds 250 millibuckets of fluid, same as this one here. So they will actively consume fluids from your network now. Yeah, so this has the simple reason that it makes a few things a little bit cooler. For example, let me quickly build a small setup for that. So you have like a tank which sits like a bit higher and one that sits a bit lower, and you connect both of them with a pipe, and you fill this one here up with water. The fluid will flow down in here, but like in these pipes, the fluid will also flow. But if I remove a bit here, then the fluid will still flow and then kind of sit in this pipe and level into here. The way then, if you don't want it, is you would need to kind of work around this by having a setup like this, where then the fluid flows down, and then only really small amounts will then sit in here, where the flow was not enough to draw down into here, or add in a pump to pump the fluid down to here. Also one feature, or also one thing about this, is that the config for this is of course changeable, and in the same regard the config has changed a bit. As you can see, there are only 2 levels here now, but there's new subcategories here where you can select a few things. So I thought this maybe makes it a little bit easier to navigate around a few things. So that you can set and disable different kind of behaviors here and find them a little bit easier. So as you maybe have seen is that there's no gas lift with sables. So if you have gases which are lighter than air, you can see they will make the tank float a little bit. And if we, for example, increase the scaling on that a little bit in the config, so let's go into sable, tank mass, and then you can say the lift per bucket, and we just increase it by 100%. You can then see it will start lifting and like floating away. So I'd recommend sticking maybe to the default of 0.1. It is technically realistic, but also like the weight in general in like Sable is like not one-to-one like realistic on different things. So I don't know if like this wood block like I don't know the weight Sable gives it. Yeah. Other than that, these are all the kind of new features. As I mentioned, I've worked a little bit on fixing certain compatibility layers, like for example the factory must grow works now. Diesel generators, for example, I'm still working on crowns. That is a bit harder to do, but other than that, this beta's already pretty stable, but like 100%. You can see sometimes the custom like renderer and like weirdly bugs around here. As you can see here, like there's a flowing fluid, but like here's not. And these are like smaller things I still need to find on like why they're happening, especially like this oscillation issues like to happen. Yeah. So thank you for watching so far. Please subscribe, give a like, feel free to comment something, and yeah, as always, have a wonderful day and see you in the next video.